You're back on the air with We Sell Restaurants and Eric and Robin Gagnon, the restaurant brokers. We operate the largest restaurant brokerage company in the nation based on the number of listings, transaction count, and volume. We are franchising nationwide and have offices in Florida, Colorado, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia. But our view today is taking us across the ocean to France. We are talking with those folks who are specializing in French cuisine, and we have a couple superstars here from La Metro Creperie and also from Amelie's. So, Georgia, when we just took our break, we were talking about, is it more difficult to find those folks and train them and get them up to speed on French cooking? You know what? It's totally daunting for me. My husband's visited in France many times and speaks that language. There is not one French food I would attempt to put on the table. What about recruiting your staff?
Well, it's actually been a lot of fun to get to teach everybody all of the new recipes, and we like to get a lot of people from the cooking schools to be able to give them an opportunity to come in, make some French food, French pastries, and it gives them a good backbone too. So when they go out into the industry, they've worked with a lot of these products before, or seen the traditional things, or made them themselves, on a daily basis. So I was mentioning before rolling tart shells and making all of the fillings for those. It's a great hands-on experience, but there is a lot that goes into it. But I think it's fun for them to get to see everything, and it is a little overwhelming at first when you get put right into it, but I think that it's an enjoyable process to learn something new every day.
But when I want to ask you something more about, something goes along with French food, it's temptations. And when we talk about temptations, I know, you're very focused. You're crepe restaurants. I mean, you're not serving hamburgers, you're not serving fried chicken, you're not everything. But, you're in Sweet Auburn Market, and, you see the chicken guy down the street, and he's got a line out the door, and you see the hamburger guy, and he's packed, from the time he opens to the end. How tempting it is, because you have one concept. You say, hey, you know what? Maybe we should have had at least one hamburger on our menu, because hamburger seems to be popular right now. We'll just do one at least for a little while to get more customers in the door, and to versus staying true to your concept, because that's a very tempting and also a very hard discipline. Well, how do you handle that?
Well, I think for us it's fairly simple because we have a no competition clause at the market. So we actually can't sell burgers even if we wanted to. There are definitely days where we're looking at some of the other vendors and more traditional American food, and we just kind of look at the watch and we're like, okay, we're over here, guys. But I think it's just a patience thing, and I think any new business is gonna have to kind of wait a little bit. And if you're doing your marketing and you're continuing to try new things and you're staying positive, then I think the clientele will come. And would you agree with that? I mean,
yeah. Also, when you look, who has a line, they have a line for a while, and it's like if one customer stands at the counter, it draws other customers. But then all of a sudden, it's another place that has the customers. It takes turns, and then all of a sudden we have the customers. So it's also like, I don't know why this happens, but it does happen. And like the place next to us sometimes has all the people, and then all of a sudden it switches, and they have nobody, and we have them all. So you can't predict. It's nothing you can tell in advance. But usually at the end of the day, it's all good.
That's actually very interesting, because as restaurant brokers, we often work with folks and they'll go and look at a space or a concept and they'll go, oh no, there's too much competition in the area. But we tell them the same thing you just said. The fact that there's a lot of competition in the area is great, because that makes people come there for lunch. And when there's a line somewhere, they'll just scoot over and try you when they may not. So you may own the whole area and not have any competition, but you may also not have any business either.
Georgia, how about you guys? Is there any ideas to expand something, or you really got to focus, stay to your core and be patient and think good things will happen?
Well, we like to change things out seasonally too, so we get to try a lot of different things. So it gives customers the opportunity to try new soups when it's changing seasons, or new salads. We like to introduce new salads. So we still get the French realm of food lets you kind of play with it, so bringing in new things. So it might not be traditional American, but I think it still gives customers the chance to try new things and different things and stay interested. So I think that has worked pretty well for us so far.
And I think that's absolutely true. And Gwen, I was reading, because it seems online, some of the reviews, and it seems as though when someone reaches your restaurant, they become a raving fan and they're just talking about it. And so that sort of spreads. So you're not counting on a customer being this foodie or someone who's looking to have French food. You're just trying to convert a customer who's coming into the door and show them something new and wonderful. Would that be accurate?
Yes. I'm kind of a fan of the underdog, so to speak, anyway. I like meeting people who maybe aren't as traveled and that, you can talk to. If you're willing to chat for a minute, then usually we can talk you into trying something. And I think there's much more satisfaction from that than someone who comes in and says, I've been all over Europe, I know everything there's to know, and then they're kind of a critic, whereas someone new comes in and they're like, I've never had this before, but I loved it. It was so good. I can't wait to come back. I'm going to tell people, because there's an enthusiasm there that someone who has traveled all over the world might not feel the same way. So it's really fun to kind of convert people to different cuisine.
That's so exciting. That is the beauty of now that, having more and more different types of food, and especially like that, to be able to bring back a little piece to somebody that maybe not have the means or never been there, and be able to give them something like that. I think that's also magical for either for you guys in the crepe world, or even for Amelie, to give them a little piece of, like Robin said, a little piece of Paris, down here in downtown Atlanta. I mean, I think it is a very gratifying thing that you guys do on a daily basis, and hopefully more and more people will find out about it.
Okay, I'm going to ask each of you a one-word answer. What's the one thing they must try on your menu, Georgia?
Oh, man.
I stumped you.
That's too many words already.
Oh, God.
Okay, I know the answer for you, Gwen. It's going to be a crepe. Which one?
I think the French-Italian border is probably a new favorite. I know that's way more than one word, so I guess I better stop.
All right. You're just going to have to go out and check it out yourself, because these French concepts have our mouths watering this morning. This is Eric and Robin Gagnon. Remember, you can find us online at We Sell Restaurants. We're your industry authority and source for information. We're the Restaurant Brokers, and today we've been talking about French cuisine.